everybody, and welcome to our Radnor Township Design Review Board meeting. Before we get started, I'm going to ask Colin to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. Thanks, Colin. Okay, it's great to see everybody back in the Township building again. We're hopefully done with these Zoom meetings for a while. So we'll just go over a couple ground rules, just to refresh everybody's memories. These meetings are televised, so we'd ask you when you please come to the podium, tell us who you are, which business you represent. There's a table right there. You can lay out your plans. And we've got a pretty long agenda tonight, so we'll try to get through it as quickly as we can. So the first application tonight is DRB 2021-41, the application at Wayne Senior Center at 108 Station Road in Wayne for a new freestanding sign. Hi, Dennis. Good.
So I'm Dennis McLaughlin from Denron Sign Company, and we're doing a carved gold leaf sign to replace the existing carved gold leaf sign that we did about 20-some years ago at the Wayne Senior Center. It needed to be refurbished, but then they decided to do a whole new sign. It's the exact same size. It's just a burgundy background with gold leaf. It's 1.5 inch thick urethane mounted between 6x6 aluminum posts with gold leaf finials on top. We'll remove the existing sign. We'll embed the post in concrete, low grade for stability and everything, and just look like a new refreshed sign. It's a different type style, but right now they have green with a burgundy border, but they wanted to go all burgundy for the background. That's about it.
Okay. What is the background material made of?
It's the 1.5 inch thick urethane.
Urethane, okay.
High density urethane.
Okay, good. Should last forever.
Same as the existing sign is there too. And the posts were 6x6 cedar wood posts when we did it before, and they're really worn. But when you don't have any fluting or anything on the post, you can use aluminum post, and it looks the same as a wood post once it's painted and everything.
Okay.
So it's more durable that way.
Jane, questions?
I have one quick question, because I'm very familiar with this sign. The garden club plants the stuff around it. Well, it used to. I don't know if we're going to continue. The light fixtures, they're not probably your purview, but they're like this. They don't light the sign.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because they're like tilted
Yeah,
down.
they would get their own electrician to do that. And I proposed a couple different ways to do the sign. One was with a synthetic brick base with where you could put flowers in the center and what the posts would go into, but it seemed to be out of their budget, so they just went with the regular post. But they always keep it nice with the flowers and everything around it. But I'll make sure, or I'll mention to them that they get new floodlights, and I'm sure they'll want to with the new sign.
Sure. Colin, question?
No, I wanted to see what the existing looked like.
I'm sorry, Colin.
I'm sorry. I pulled up Google Maps to see what the existing looked like, so I'm kind of puzzled why they're replacing it.
Yeah, they were saying new type style, and they got a grant.
Oh.
So they had to use their money before,
OPM.
yeah, something like that, which was good, but they really wanted a new look and a refreshed look, but it's just a different type style. And
So they're omitting hours of operation and replacing with address,
right.
which we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, you're good? Jane, questions, comments? Dennis, any comments or question for us?
That's it.
Okay. You want to take this one?
For Design Review Board, 2021-41.
Yeah, I'm sorry, your mic.
DRB 2021-41, the Wayne Senior Center. I motion to approve the design
Here, a
of the
second.
sign.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Great, thank you, Dennis.
Cool,
All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Dan. Next on tonight's agenda is DRB 2021-42, the application of Villanova University School of Law and a performance marketing and sign at 299 North Spring Mill Road in Villanova for some wall signage. Hi there.
Hello, my name's Kim Laux. I work for Villanova University. As you can see here, our School of Law is located on County Line Road here, next to 320. Our building frontage is 273 feet and 8 inches. We have three existing signs. The first one is here on County Line Road. There'll be pictures of that later. The second sign is located here. It's 15 square feet. The first sign was 29 square feet. We are proposing to modify the existing entrance sign, which is 24 square feet, which is located right here. And then we're adding 2 additional wall signs. The new sign here, which is 30 square feet, and another sign on this side of the building that is 39 square feet. With our 273 linear foot frontage, we calculate that with the 1.5 square feet, we have 409 square feet of signage allowable. Our total signage area proposed is 37 square feet. The existing signage area is 44 square feet, but that's already included in the 137 square feet. The first sign here is, we're not introducing any new material for any of the signage. We're matching the existing bronze aluminum that is the window mullions, and then we're also having lettering that it matches the existing lettering of the sign that's brushed stainless steel. This is a section through the construction of this sign. It just has a bronze back with the lettering. I'm proud of that face.
So that's facing west?
That's, it's on the west side of the building, but it's facing east. So that's this sign here.
Okay, thank you.
This is an elevation of the sign. All 3 signs are less than 15 feet above grade. This sign has 12-inch letters. The second sign is located on the interior campus side of the building. It also is just the bronze pin letters that are mounted directly to the existing facade of the building. The letters here are 12 inches high, and the sign is 12 feet above grade. This is the existing entrance sign, so today this is the only wall-mounted sign on the building. It is a brushed stainless steel. We're proposing that we're going to remove that sign because it says School of Law, and now it's going to the building's going to be known as the John F. Scarpa Hall, not School of Law. So we are proposing to mount a new bronze backer in between these 2 limestone columns here, and have, again, the same material that we're using on the other sign and the same material of the existing sign, that brushed stainless steel. Here's an elevation of that side. This sign is 13 feet, 3 inches above grade, which is our highest sign on the building. These are the existing signs for the School of Law. This is the county line sign, and then there's a little sign that's closer to the building. So again, that is the existing sign. One of them was here, and then the other one is right here.
Any questions from the board?
Now, my view is you're within your limits. Most of these signs are within your campus, not facing street frontages anyway, so I'm fine with this application. Sorry, I just avoid my ignorance. Your alumni, Scarpa, I don't know that name. What is it?
I actually don't know either.
Okay.
Um,
Just more curious than anything.
Yeah, so he's not an alum. He's
Oh.
got a long relationship with Villanova. He's donated to the law school before.
Got it.
We have some other things named after him, but he stepped forward with a large gift, and in recognition of that, we're naming the building after him.
Great.
So the building will be named after him, and the School of Law is named after Chuck Widger. So we're in a good position there.
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, this looks great.
Jane, comments? Looks good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just that this is different from the other one, but that doesn't matter.
right.
It's there, oh. One of the hall signs, the John Scarpa Hall sign that's on the sides, look, has a backing, and it's white. And the other one appears to be just mounted letters. Is that
Correct.
just a Photoshop thing?
That is correct. We are doing, with this, there's an existing stone facade here, which is kind of busy, so we are doing a bronze backer panel behind this sign. But
Because
then.
the letters will get lost.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
letters will get lost if we do it
Okay.
directly on the stone itself.
All right.
Any other comments or questions? You guys are good?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Any questions for the board? Chris, you're okay? Everybody's all right?
In the matter of DRB 2021-42, Villanova University School of Law, Performance Marketing and Sign, 299 North Spring Mill Road, the approval of 3 new wall-mounted signs, replacing 3 new mounted. Motion for approval?
Okay, here's a second.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chris. Okay. All right, next is DRB 2021-43, the application of 236 East Lancaster, Suite 1, John Snoffer and Wayne for a entry door. Hello there. Good, how you doing? That's good.
Last time I was here, you guys still had the right camera.
Oh, really? Okay.
My name's John Schnoffer. I own the old Joe's Place, if you all know where that was. I also own the dry cleaner and classic coachwork, the body shops in town, you know. I bought this building just as an investment because I own everything around it. Joe's, we took it out. It was a mess, and we're doing a vanilla envelope. We rehabbed the inside of the store. We have a ADA bathroom, so we naturally need a door to walk through there to make it ADA, a handicap door. So our architect was Joe Lombardi from Architectural, and that's what we came up with. The best design is to replace part of the storefront and put a door in that was with a handicap slope and a landing to make it accessible, to make it work.
So it looks like you're going to bust right through that stone, huh?
Sorry?
Going to bust right through that stone to put the door?
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, the building's probably 100-plus years old,
Sure,
and Marty didn't do a whole lot to it, just so you know, so.
yeah.
So will the existing entrance then only be an entrance to the apartments above?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That'll be just for the apartments above, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's, the most logical placement. You're doing minimal demolition to the existing structure, so.
Yep.
No new headers required.
No,
Yeah, I think
no
it's-
new headers, existing glass, smaller, and to me, it's a no-brainer.
But there would be a step, or the ramp would meet the floor elevation of the...
The ramp will meet the floor elevation, there'll be a slope down with a
You're just not
railing.
showing the ramp.
It shows it on this, I didn't show it on
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
If you look, I'm sorry, here, with a point, it shows a landing outside the door. I didn't show it on that because I didn't realize we had to, but there's whatever conforms for the local, ADA codes or...
So you go out the door and you move to the east.
Correct,
Got
correct. And there'll be a railing around it,
it. So then, does that affect your parking in front?
No, because the parking now goes over to the side because we had to redo the parking
Got it.
and I talked to, is it Mike? The head guy, your head guy?
Kevin?
Kevin?
Or
Kevin,
Andy?
I talked to Kevin about it, he said it was okay.
Okay, good. What's the the cutout right underneath the window. Looks like it's a piece of plywood.
Yeah, well, I started to do it, and I didn't realize I had to come to you guys.
Oh, okay.
So we start cutting it, and then I didn't realize that I had to come to the thing, so they just put plywood over it for now.
So in effect, the window's going to be smaller.
The window's gonna be
Oh,
smaller,
okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
It's not gonna go the whole length across like
Gotcha.
this, but
The
it's
whole
gonna-
window and door will be a new assembly.
Right,
Correct.
Yeah.
right,
Yes,
right,
and
right.
it'll be brushed aluminum matching the existing door. that's-
Gotcha, okay. Jane, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm fine. The packet, of course, didn't show
Yeah,
the,
okay. And Colin, you're good?
Will the window have any mullions, or
No.
will it be one
Like
sheet?
it is now.
Okay.
Or, they might.
No, I don't, I mean, I
Doesn't
don't,
matter, he might put a couple partitions in case somebody breaks it, that it's.
Right.
More expensive
Right.
to replace if it's through. Whatever it is, the glass guy, it's up to him.
Okay. All right,
I would maybe just advise a mullion in the middle,
I usually do them,
Yeah.
just because it's such a large piece of glass.
I know, when I did like Belrose and all them, I always have them put mullions.
Yeah.
So when guys are gonna.
I mean, I'll leave it up to you, but that would
No,
be,
no, and I agree with that,
mhm.
but this was the architect, so this,
and what's the end use? You don't have a tenant
I
yet?
don't know yet, not food, for sure. Probably gonna be, I have a couple people looking at it for an upscale nail salon. which
Why
I-
do you say not food for sure? Just curious.
You don't know what I cleaned out there. when I cleaned the place out.
Well, I grew
Most-
up at
all my
Joe's, I
businesses-
remember.
Most of my businesses are body shops and automotive related, which are nice. I took about 4 or 5 dumpsters out of that place, so, I don't like food.
Okay,
Food's dirty, it smells, it's
Right.
great, it's just,
You
and
might
it's
have-
not the right location for
You
food.
might have found my Radnor prom picture on the
I
wall.
might have, trust me.
there
Hey.
you go.
Well, I won't start. I went to work across the street at Mullins in 1972. I remember going there when Joe owned
Is that,
his dad.
yes, right, right.
Yeah.
It's an institution.
Yeah,
It's
it is
a
an
great-
institution.
Yeah, it's a great building, though.
It's a great
Yeah.
building, it's got a lot of history to it.
It does, and it's got some really nice
Yeah.
elements there, yeah.
It just needs a lot of TLC because
Yeah.
nobody did it.
Well, already you've done a great job just paving the parking lot and the
I know.
sidewalks and stuff like that, so,
I know, fix the sewers.
Yeah. yeah,
Hopefully that'll help with the stormwater.
good for
when
you.
We raise them up a little bit.
That's
so,
good. I know you do a good job. I see what you've done with Classic Coach
Yep,
and
yep,
everything, so,
yep.
yeah, good,
Thank you.
great. All right, any other questions, comments? We good?
I'm a new member, but there's no requirement for green, like landscaping? That
Uh,
block is like completely,
Yeah, I
the
guess,
boy.
I don't know.
I mean, we don't know.
That's what it was. I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know. No, I was just wondering
I
if
don't
there
think
is
that's
any.
under restriction.
Yeah. I mean, you could always put flower boxes out front or something like that, just to jazz it up.
They
so.
always do. I mean, I put the planters at,
I
you
know
know,
you
the
do.
body shop, I put the planters.
Sure.
I know you do.
Nice.
I know.
And then we
Okay.
try to do the crisp, we try to do the theme for everybody.
Great.
Right.
Good. All right, Jane, you want to?
All right. Okay. The DRB 2021-43, 236 East Lancaster Avenue for handicapped, or what is that, entrance, ADA?
Okay.
ADA entrance and new door. I motion for approval.
Okay, here's a second.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, John.
Good night.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
All righty. All right, next is DRB 2021-44, the application of 108 West Wayne Avenue, Econ Development. It's in Wayne, the old post office building. And these gentlemen were before us last month via Zoom, and happy to have you here at the Radnor Township Building. Yeah, I think it'll be a little easier, so,
Absolutely.
great.
Good evening, Wade McDevitt, my partner Eli Khan and I are the owners of 108 West Wayne Avenue. We were with you on June 9th, as you mentioned. At that time, we proposed, as you know, we are redeveloping the old post office sorting center, which is contiguous and attached to the existing post office, a somewhat derelict single-story structure, renovating it into a single-tenant office building. We had presented to you our original scheme, which was painting the entire structure, painting all the brick. You'd asked us to revisit that and come back with some alternatives to that, as well as a lighting plan and a landscaping plan. So we're here this evening to do that with you.
Okay, great.
We've looked high and low to try to find a brick that would match the existing brick and found that very challenging. We're going to show you 2 options this evening of alternatives to that. One that does have that brick infill with the brick that we're able to source that will not match that brick. and a portion of it being painted. Another one which paints the entire left side of the structure when you're facing from the South Wayne Avenue elevation, but still contrasting with the larger, taller structure, which is contiguous and attached to the post office.
Okay.
We had Jonathan Alderson do a landscaping plan, which we'll also show you this evening,
Mhm.
and we'll show you the very simple lighting plan we developed as well.
Okay. Should we
Um,
start with the brick facade
So
first?
we'll start with the brick option. So we
Okay.
have two options, as I mentioned, proposed, and we have a sample of that brick as well.
Great.
This is option 2.
So, I'm glad you had this, because our printouts do not give your presentation justice.
No,
Sorry.
good, I'm glad. We should have brought left
They're
here.
all multicolor and,
Yeah, that's not it.
okay. I was gonna say.
I was gonna say,
Is yours
gonna get
different?
Better.
Yours.
That's
Okay.
right. So,
I was gonna say, this is not starting off good.
no, so we took your pushback to heart and have come back with what we hope you will find to be an acceptable alternative to that, where we keep the, as I refer to as left and right, the right side of the structure will stay the existing brick, which is the original brick. The left side, which is the area which is the loading dock that we're providing infill, and a new window system, which is a metal grid window system to mimic a garage door architecture, kind of bring the industrial patina back to the structure. That is a whitewash brick that we're showing that will extend that entire left side. A sample of that brick is here.
Actually, if you want to put that on the table, just so people know what's there.
And then, sorry, not on the microphone, but that would be the paint proposed on the left side of the building.
Okay.
So it's a whitewash, so brick still bleeds through. You still have a sense that it is brick. This sample is the one that was closest to matching the configuration, dimension of the existing brick, and the texture of the existing brick. So that is option 2. Contrasting that with option 3.
You know, can we go back? What was option 1? Was that
Option 1
last
was what we
week's-
proposed
last
originally on
month?
the night, which
Yes.
was painting the entire
Yes,
structure.
okay, all right.
By the way, this is Peter Kilty, who's head of construction for Con, who's going to be
Okay.
the project manager on this. Option
two-
3,
I'm sorry, option 2 facing the library would be painted as well?
no.
It would not.
It would remain raw?
The red brick is consistent around
Okay.
with the red.
You know,
That's all the original brick. The only place
So
we
the only
have-
paint it would be where the loading dock is?
Correct. The back side of the structure, let's call that the west side of the structure, which is if elevation that we face in the library is the original brick, it will remain original brick unpainted in its current condition.
Mhm.
The only place where we looked to have a different treatment was where we had to bring infill brick. So this is the area where we're taking the old loading dock that is, recessed about 10 feet, filling that in to recapture that space as leasable space for the office tenant. So that is an infill brick, which would not match the brick to the right.
Mhm.
And in the left, we still left some painting just to create some architectural dimension to the space as well, to distinguish the building some more. Our strong preference, and we hope you will agree, is option 2. When we paint the entire, we use the whitewash brick for the left side. And once again, I said the brick will bleed through, so you'll still know it's brick, and it still will tie into the existing brick to the right by showing those, by ghosting some of that brick color through that. In addition, as I mentioned, we also have the landscaping
So,
plan.
sorry for the confusion.
No.
The top left corner says option 1, and then below says option 2.
It's a clerical mistake. So
Okay.
these are both option 2.
Okay, great.
We had 3 options initially. We abandoned painting the whole building option, and we are just down to the 2 brick options. So what
In
we're,
favor of 2?
That should be labeled option 2.
I kind of like that, but,
That's 2, right?
yeah.
That is our
It's the
our preference,
whitewash
because
brick.
option 3, the brick
You
won't
like that?
match.
Yeah, I
What'd
like
you
it
say?
better than the black, yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
like,
think we're all good with number 2.
I think we're- yeah.
Thank you. Additionally, we wanted to show you the landscaping plan.
Perfect.
As I mentioned, Jonathan Alderson, who literally is, you may be familiar with him, he's based in Wayne. His
Yeah.
offices are actually across the street and look down on this, so we thought he was the appropriate person to do the design. This is his plan, which shows 2 bald cypress trees at the entrance, feather reed grass. This is all along the West Wayne Avenue elevation. And at the loading dock, sitting below the old loading dock area, at a height that won't interfere with the window line, is it's a cherry blossom and castle spire holly.
Where are the bald cypress? Are they like in
They're the-
front of the parking?
They're the entrance coming in from West Wayne Avenue into the parking lot. So currently, there's no entrance demarcation there. It's just a curb cut and you pull in.
it's actually a small 4-foot chain link fence right now. Brush kind of grows up to it. We'd be creating like 2 little
We're
landscape
creating a
islands.
green zone along the
Avoid-
West Wayne.
Eliminating the fence.
We're eliminating the fence, we're creating a green buffer zone along the West Wayne elevation, and then we're demarcating the entrance itself with those 2 cypress trees.
And that would be straight across from the fire station.
Oh, okay, you're talking about South Wayne Avenue, not West Wayne.
I'm sorry, yeah, South Wayne.
I
West
live
Wayne.
on West
I
Wayne, I'm thinking,
apologize.
where's the chain link fence?
On South Wayne Avenue, the South Wayne Avenue elevation, we're gonna green that elevation and have the entrance there.
I can tell you one thing, bald cypress grow really fast and they get really big.
Yeah,
I've got one that grew in the past 25 years from my height to about 35 feet now.
we'll
It's
mention
your
that
tree.
we'll mention that to Jonathan, I'm not sure, this is what he's spec'd here, and I'm assuming he knows that, but we'll certainly ask the question.
And you know they're deciduous. Okay.
How do you feel about the other landscaping?
Oh, that's fine.
You're
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. The trees are fine too, they're great trees, I'm just saying they're gonna get big.
How big?
They're real big.
Real big. Too big for that location over time?
Well, they have a well, they're gonna love it there because it's wet underneath
Right,
South Wayne
right,
Avenue, as
sure.
we all know. They're gonna love it. It used to be it's a very wet area.
It's very wet,
The
yeah.
stormwater management there has been an issue with the township.
Yes.
Why
And he
is
took
the-
that into consideration, he mentioned it to
Yeah.
me, since, as I say, he literally is across the street, so he said he took that into consideration when he picked the species that he used here.
It'll be fine.
So
You're
I-
okay.
If they
I'll-
get too big, you can always replace them.
Right.
Okay.
On my civil plan, the roofs are green, is that a reason, or?
They're not going to be green.
They won't
Okay.
be, it'll be a white TPO roof.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that came through, no. And then the lighting plan, it's 2 LED wall-mounted downlights, they're mounted at 12 feet. You can see they are here and here. So they're casting the light straight down against just flooding the side of the building.
And we've used this wall pack lighting a lot because it doesn't provide glare out.
Mhm.
I know we're facing the fire station, but I know people are obviously sensitive in town center, so these will only cast as you see, in the photometric plan going out off the building.
Will this parking lot be available for public use in off hours?
We
For
don't,
your-
at this time, we don't plan
Okay.
on closing it during off hours.
Okay.
So
So theoretically could be
theoretically,
available?
we'll be, yeah. Theoretically, someone could park there as a liability concern, obviously, but we
Yeah,
have, quite frankly, we have not had that conversation.
Okay.
I
Just
guess that'll-
curious.
Yeah.
That'll probably be up more to
Because
the
once it
tenant.
becomes more, more appealing, it would attract more vehicles, in my opinion.
Probably. And people park there now,
Just be something to be
Right.
mindful of.
yes.
And it's,
Yes.
there still will
Which
be
may
the
involve signage. My point.
And the post office is still obviously connected to our building, and they
Yeah.
use the loading dock through their access
Mhm.
side, so I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
There's obviously some concern of risk, so it may be posted, I don't know, we haven't had the conversation.
Sure.
That's a good
I
point.
wonder, once this is completed, whether people going to the post office,
Oh.
will just assume that parking's for post office.
I
and
know
go in
I
there.
would if it was there and no
Certainly.
signage.
Yeah.
We expect some, we hope that the tenants filling it by day.
Sure.
The post office does have curb parking there, but we are accommodating, we did meet with the post office when we first acquired the property to make sure we could accommodate their loading. So they still intend on using our parking lot as part of their turnaround. They're gonna back actually from the firehouse straight over, and they have a whole system in place.
Oh,
and
I
they
see.
didn't think this was disruptive to their plan in any way.
Great.
Good, okay. Other lighting on the building, the back side of the building, up against the library?
There's a few existing, we'll have emergency egress wall packs leaving the exit doors, which are code required just outside of the building.
Mhm.
But right now, yeah, we don't have anything else planned,
Okay.
along the
Just the
library
two in the
side. It's
front.
pretty well lit.
Okay, all right.
I think that drive is pretty lit.
I think
It's
so.
lit pretty well.
Yeah, I would think.
And we'll have.
That's merely a second means of egress, I guess, for your tenant.
And the library has exterior lighting, as does
Right.
the post office.
And our wall-
The area is fairly well illuminated already.
And on the 5x5 access pads leaving the building are emergency wall packs in the event of a power outage or something like that at night. Those will come on, so
Okay.
somebody has safe passage.
Okay. The, on the far end of the building, with the garage door,
Yes.
what's the, material-wise, and what do you plan on doing there?
The door itself?
Yeah.
It's going to mimic a garage door, but it'll probably be a metal grid, a metal seam mullioned grid window.
Almost
Right.
like a firehouse door, very similar,
Okay.
except we're black to match the storefront. So
Okay.
the majority of the time when that door's obviously shut,
Mhm.
it'll
It's
just blend
gonna-
in.
It's going to tie into the same window line you have along that loading dock.
Can I see that elevation again?
Yes, certainly. Sorry.
So access for the UPS driver and the FedEx guy shouldn't be a problem either? The back the truck in,
Absolutely.
no problem?
We've actually designed around that. They're a loading intensive tenant.
Yes.
We do a fair amount of printing,
Mhm.
so we're actually accommodating that with our design.
Okay,
That was
good.
a big consideration when they chose the space.
Mhm.
So they're actually, from what they currently are working with, they're
Yeah, Light years ahead, yeah.
Excited about how much more
Yeah.
convenient the access is going to be for their deliveries and
Sure.
shipping.
So the far left will be an operating door.
Yep,
And
that's
not the three in the middle, they'll be fixed
Well,
storefronts.
the far left, correct, one of them will be an operating door. So one of them will be I make this wrong, the door two to the left, two over from the entrance. So this door will be an operating door to accommodate deliveries for them.
For the post office.
No,
Just for the tenant.
Yeah.
The tenant's Two Paper Dolls, which is a very
Yeah.
high-end stationery printing company based in Lane.
So just the middle door will be,
Yeah, the others are not just, the others are windows.
oh, I thought it'd be the far
We
left
thought the
one.
far one.
Correct. I believe the far one, at this point, we anticipate that being a fixed window as well.
Yeah.
Not a roll-up
The
door.
tenant went back and forth. They were gonna initially put some of their large printing devices down there.
Yeah.
And right now, it seems like they're just gonna do the one door as the operable.
Okay.
And inside there, we have a vestibule built out. So if they open that to take a delivery, they're not losing all their heat or air conditioning out of the building.
Gotcha.
But the dimensions of the windows, the material of the window mullions, all that will match across the entire facade.
Okay, great.
It'll all read as the same system.
Mm-hmm, good. And I know last month we talked about the trash.
They're using bins. They have a service that removes bin, and we create a bin enclosure or bin space. This is right here.
Oh,
So they use a rolling bin system in their business. And they have a company that takes away the bins, I think, twice a week.
so they access the bins by going into the library's parking lot?
There's the
No.
back sidewalk, the concrete
Oh.
sidewalk that comes out here. They'll take their trash out,
Okay.
put them in the recycling cans and trash cans in the back of the building.
It's an existing sidewalk that you'll see there today.
I didn't see that,
It has green next to it as well.
Would you say that that site plan is the footprint of the existing building?
That's a footprint of it's a footprint of the existing building, but this shows the loading dock being, the infill to loading dock. So the outside line of that is with the existing building. Currently, that's open air. Where you see the hard line here is the actual loading dock. That's being filled in. So we're creating a facade across here, which is now open air.
So the facade is gonna meet the edge of the roof line?
Correct. There's still a slight overhang, I think,
Okay.
of a foot or two from the old loading dock. which
I was
we
just
wanted-
trying to get a sense of where that
Still
would
s-
be. So it would be the outside line of the footprint of the building would be the new facade.
Correct.
Okay.
That's where we'll have the infill brick. That's been the challenge.
So I don't even think it's a concern, but the truck wouldn't be, the back of the truck would not be parallel with the building, correct? So there
We-
might be a gap between the loading dock door and the back of the truck?
Well, no, we won't have levelers, Pete. How will we handle this, them coming through here?
They're-
A ramp system?
They have, if you're familiar with like the 24 and 26-foot box trucks that have the large lift gate to the back, usually I know what they do right now is, because they're on Lancaster Ave, they just drop that gate to the ground and wheel it in.
Okay.
They'll actually have the ability to back up, put the gate down, and then lower that. So that'll be essentially what bridges the gap between the car parking lot and we're calling it a loading dock, but it's really just an overhead loading door.
Which is why we picked the vegetation we picked along that elevation, so it was low enough that it wouldn't interfere with that.
Gotcha.
I think we're getting too critical. I'll let Kevin in the building department deal with it.
Yeah, right.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned the sidewalk around the back. The sidewalks along South Wayne Avenue, I think they're in pretty bad shape. You're going to replace those? At least I think they are.
Pete, are we replacing this?
We had not not in our
Okay.
design plan right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think,
Take-
I
take a
think
look
last
at
time
it.
you
It
said
might
you were replacing the sidewalks along the library, or is that, am I
Yeah,
wrong
I
there
think
too?
I don't think right now we're
Okay.
replacing any sidewalk in the
Yeah.
plan.
I just have to, immediately outside the building where you exit onto the egress pads, I just have to make sure that those egress pads are even with the finished floor on the inside for ADA accessibility, but that's the extent of the sidewalk.
Take a look at those sidewalks along South Wayne Avenue. I'm pretty sure they're in pretty bad shape. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would think the township would make them change them when they acquired the property.
Yeah, but, yeah.
if they
I'm-
were-
I'm going by memory.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, you know.
And then one last question that I have is, these storefronts will be replaced, right?
That's
Those
correct.
those windows will be replaced. That's the elevation.
That's the
west-
library side, right?
That's the West Wayne elevation,
Yeah.
actually. in that
Oh,
photo.
that's the West
And
Wayne.
And that window system's being replaced to mimic the
Oh,
same
no,
windows.
this is the
we-
library side, correct?
Yes, that's the library. That's the
Yes,
library
yeah.
side where the picnic table is.
Yeah, and that's the sidewalk is on the picnic table right now, but yeah.
Yes,
But
the library
those,
side, that's
all existing glass is being replaced.
all the
correct.
windows.
Good.
The entire structure's been
Yeah.
the windows, all to match that same
Yep.
metal mullion
It's
black.
gonna look great.
And I have one more question, just because I looked at this picture. You're putting those three windows where there are now two loading. those
That's
three
actually the
windows are
post
going in.
office elevation.
That's not our property. That's the post office connection.
Oh,
So,
Well, everyone assumes it's our properties, so we wish it was our property,
Yeah,
make
well-
this much easier. But it's the post office.
so that's where the post office will continue to do
Yeah,
their loading
I
on
got
that
it. No, I
elevation.
got it now. I
Yeah,
got
if
it.
we were
Yeah.
to pan left, that's
But-
where our doors will be.
So all the windows in the building are being replaced. All the
Great.
existing windows are being replaced.
It's gonna look great.
Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. We're very excited about it.
We actually, pending this meeting, we got our building permit, so we're ready to get going.
Yeah, good. I guess when Two Paper Dolls gets in there, they're going to want signage, I would think. So we're naturally going to have that Two Paper Dolls come back to get their signage.
Yes.
And if they're going to put parking lot signage too, we'll ask them to come back so we can take a look at that, so,
Certainly.
yeah.
And Wade and I are working with them on their interior portion of the fit-out, which will be a separate building permit that we'll submit for, and then, of
And
course,
then
any signage.
louvers would remain as is, but maybe paint it?
Actually, the louvers get infilled.
Oh, infilled.
Yeah, so there used to be an old boiler in that room, which we're no longer getting utilized. We've actually removed
So
it.
will that brick not match?
Probably not close. It won't match perfectly, no.
We're going to do our very best.
I'm kidding.
Looks good. It looks good. I guess one very, very small thing, just somewhere place the address number on the building,
Sure.
okay? In case there's an emergency, so.
Yes, certainly.
What else, Jane? Comments, questions? You're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Colin, you're
So
good?
you're 108, what's the post office?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
And I think the post office may have a South Wayne Avenue address.
okay.
Yeah,
Just curious-
sorry. it
just
doesn't
Remember we
say-
had the conversation last month? It was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, remember,
what's
you
it-
you had asked to try to get the address changed,
yeah. because
Yeah.
right?
I-
Lots of luck, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think
believe
they'll
that-
be able to find you,
Yeah.
$80.
I believe the post office is a South Wayne Avenue address.
Maybe it's like 102 South Wayne.
Okay. Gentlemen, you have any questions for the board or comments?
No?
You guys are good?
No, thanks for listening.
Okay, great, thank you. And Colin, you want to
Yeah,
take this?
the matter DRB 2021-44, 108 West Wayne Avenue, Econ Development, for the proposed facade
It's actually
improvement.
It's actually 108 West Wayne Ventures.
108
Mis-
West
mislabeled.
Wayne Ventures, brick facade improvements, motion to approve.
Here, a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Or option 2.
Option 2.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, option 2 to whitewash the new brick infill.
Okay,
Motion to
great.
approve.
Great. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, have a good night.
Yes, okay, good. Okay, next is DRB 2021, application at 209 Wayne IPG Associates at 209 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. For, it looks like some building fit out again. So, hello there.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Good, my name's Jeremy Fogel.
Hi.
I'm here with Carl and Jen, the architecture firm CGHC. 3GHC. Ironwood Property Group is the owner of this building. My partner Eric and I, right there,
Hi.
purchased the building late in 2019. The building we're talking about, if you obviously are familiar, but west of us, our western partner property is Wawa. And to our east is the Bages building that has South Moon Under, just to our east.
So it's the old wine and spirits store?
It's the old wine and spirits
Right.
store, Baskin Robbins. There
Yes.
is a dry cleaner who continues to operate and will stay in the building. And we have a tenant now that will replace the entirety of the vacancy in the building. And we're here for the improvements that are required to bring this tenant into the building.
Okay, so the dry cleaner stays?
Yes, dry cleaner
Okay.
stays.
All right, good.
So we bought this building in late 2019. We were very fortunate to identify a tenant for the building. Obviously, during the pandemic, retail's not been very strong, and we're very excited. The company's called Nest. They are originally a wholesale company that does home furnishings and home decor. They have a large business that started about 12 years ago, and then about 8 years ago, they opened up their first store in Phoenixville. So if you go up to the Oaks area and you get off in that direction, there's a store that's about 3,000 feet, which is their first store. It does extremely well. I think people actually around here know the store, and so they are looking to grow that concept, and Wayne's a perfect opportunity for them. It's Their customer, obviously, is our customer. I live in Radnor. As a resident, I think that the township will love the store.
That's great.
Unfortunately, the store, as you well know, is not in good condition aesthetically. It is very ugly. It has not had any attention in years. So our plan for the renovation is really a remodel to the store. A lot of it's interior, but we're here tonight for the exterior portion of it, obviously.
good.
So I guess I'll hand it to you guys, and we'll walk you through each
Yeah,
of the...
you can just walk us through the exterior renovations.
So,
If this will help you out too, I have a
We're up
handheld
on the
mic, so
screen here.
you guys aren't fighting for,
okay, we're up on the screen. How do we get it up on the wall there?
okay.
We're having a technical problem here.
Oh.
Screen went blank.
Okay, you know what?
We
In that case,
also
why don't you
have,
use,
We have
yeah,
paper
prints,
with
okay,
us.
good.
I guess the overhead's not what we just said. Okay.
Well, I don't know. See if they-
Was there an IT guy?
I'm sorry?
The IT guy need?
No, he's in the, yeah.
Me and-
Yeah,
Maybe we lost power,
I don't know.
or internet rather?
Yeah, okay.
You all have this in front of you.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
So
we're
you can
good.
just follow that and walk us
Okay, so
through.
we are on sheet 1 of 12 right now.
Okay.
So that's kind of the existing condition. So, as we just said, Wawa's on the west, retail building on the east side. There's an R4 residential in the back, street backs up there. On the front, obviously.
Oh, you know what, I'm sorry, so they can hear you at home. Why don't I just have you use that? There you go, thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, so we have the existing single-story retail building, about 9,000 square feet. The dry cleaner stays, Nest takes the balance. So their entrance will be on the east side of the building. We'll retain the trees in the front and the landscape strip. The same landscaping around the pylon sign remains. And the current owners have done some upgrading to the landscaping in the back along the residential with some evergreens and shrubs and a couple of trees back there. That all stays. So the second page, or actually, should we start with 7? So I'm sorry, we jumped to 7 of 12, if you could
Sure.
do that. That's kind of the existing condition. So, it's just pictures documenting the building as it currently is. So view A from the street looking sort of where the existing monument sign is at that corner. We're going to remove that projected overhang in the front of the building, which actually is sagging anyway, so might not even be structurally sound. So that's going to be chopped off and pushed back. The sides of the building are, the two public sides are made with split-face concrete block, kind of a beigey color. The back and the side facing Wawa are basically stucco with some type of aluminum siding above and some mechanical equipment and things like that, which we're going to clean up. So going to sheet 2 of 12, that is the principal elevation on the east where the tenant would enter. So over here, we will paint the existing CMU white, and we have color samples for you. It's Arctic white. We're going to, the black that you're seeing in the corners and flanking the storefront in the middle is a corrugated metal with a 4-inch trim band around 4 sides like a picture frame. New wall sconces will show you, creating a new gable roof over the entry, which will be used later for signage, and I think they're before you later tonight. Rip off the old roof, replace it with new fiberglass shingles, and the gable roof on the return sides will be a metal roof standing seam. South elevation facing the street, same treatment as the side, board and bat above, hardy board, horizontal lap siding on the fascia band. Again, accenting with the black corrugated metal panels and painting the block, and keeping the aluminum storefront system, which is clear glass and black anodized aluminum. The other two sides, the rear and the side that faces Wawa, the Wawa side receives paint and repair on the stucco, paint on the block. A new window being cut in about a third of the way back on the building from the front, facing Wawa, and a new aluminum canopy over the top of that with standing seam roof. Back of the building gets cleaned up, remove the metal siding, paint and repair the stucco. We're putting in a metal roll-up door. I
think it's 8 feet wide and 10 feet high, something like that. Hardy board above, and some small light, sort of down lights, just to light the area immediate around loading. So the rendering, which is sheet 4, is the view from the corner, sort of from where the pylon sign is now, showing the treatment. So you can see the front roof projection's been cut back. That will remain the signage band for the dry cleaners. Going around the other side, once again, cleaning up the corners with the metal accent panels, new wall sconces, some planting and benches, gable roof above in the middle, which will be hardy board and bat, and and a dark gray accent band above the doors, kind of a frieze panel, which is also a hardy cement board product. Okay, that's the existing.
Will the metal accents be proud of the facade?
They will be proud by about, I would say, roughly 2 inches. It's almost like a picture frame applied to the wall. I think the profile, and we have a piece with us, is about, it's a corrugated metal with a black Kynar finish.
Yep.
Sort of applied like pictures. I guess this is, so this is intended to be the landscape plan, really not much to it. We're going to seal the lot, which is, kind of a little faded right now, so it's a nice crisp black. Restripe in the existing locations. Plus, we're going to stripe a new 12 by 30 foot loading zone in the back of the building. We're going to keep all the existing planting, and I guess we'll enhance that a little bit as required, new flowers and freshen up the shrubs. But the 3 trees stay in the front, and the tall, I guess those are probably arborvitaes or something like that in the back. They will stay. This is, so our lighting plan, which is 6 of 12. Basically, the only lighting we're proposing are decorative wall sconces along the east and the south facade. We will have a couple of wall sconces flanking the new window that faces the Wawa, a couple of wall packs in the back to light the loading zone, and we're going to have, we still have a projected covered walkway all along the east, so that'll get a series of new downlights to illuminate the sidewalk. And once again, restriping and sealing the parking lot, and redoing the directional arrows too, so there's less confusion out there.
So that's a tough parking lot too. I guess there's a little, guys want to go to Bages' building, park there, and vice versa.
Yeah,
So
people cut through all the
Yeah.
time. I mean, and these guys are constantly cleaning up after them.
right,
It's unbelievable.
yeah.
Garbage is blowing across from Wawa.
So your property line includes all spots,
Yeah,
including
yeah.
the ones adjacent to South Moon Under?
Yes.
Those are our property. I mean, the tenant that we have, I think, is great in that effect because it'll be, I think, a good tenant in terms of parking demands. So
Yeah.
between us and Bages, the hope would be that the parking can work well.
Oh, yeah, good.
Okay, so that was the lighting. Now, this is.
What color will the shingles be?
the
Or
shade-
that standing seam?
Yeah, well, so the roof, we're going to replace the entire roof because it's kind of at the end of its life anyway. So that's going to get a new charcoal gray
Okay.
multi-tab architectural shingle, and that's sheet 11 and 12. So the part that gets the standing seam is the little gable in the
I
middle.
see now.
So right and left side of that, you can't
Yep.
really see on these 2Ds. So this sheet 8 of 12 is just kind of a before and after, looking at that corner and showing what we're intending to do with it. And by the way, the black and white is the color scheme of Nest. So
Okay.
we love it. Did we show that image yet? No,
but
we're going to, right? Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, you can walk up there and show them then. Yeah, it's on there. So, because their image is kind of like modern industrial barn, black and white. This thing started out a little bit more barny, and they kind of toned it down and wanted it more modern industrial. A little bit less barn, so that's where it is now. So those are the elevations for the
Starting a theme.
most part. And this
Yeah,
kind of
right.
image board is just showing, that's basically what we're going to do for the black standing seam metal roof.
Yeah.
This would be, these are the way the windows are now. They're kind of a black anodized. We'll have a canopy like that with the tie rods, stainless rods. And there's a little roll-up door in the back. It's a Cookson door. It's just your typical.
You're having a standing
door.
seam roof? on one thing and you're not having it here.
Say it again?
You have shingles on your materials and products page, and then you have standing
Oh,
seam,
that's
so
right,
that's
you're
for the other part of the roof.
It's for that little gable.
Okay, and then you have a canopy. Where's the canopy?
Well, the canopy is on that window that's facing the Wawa.
Oh.
And you're
oh,
adding
one
that
of
just for
okay,
natural, more
okay,
daylight?
Got it,
it's-
got it.
Just give people a bit of visibility into the retail area and also, you know, try to make it look a little better, clean up all that mechanical junk over there.
If I may, Nest is hoping that there's so much traffic.
I'm sorry.
Nest is hoping there's so much traffic at Wawa that they'll be able to see in the products and hopefully,
Right.
you know, say, hey, let's go in and
Alright.
buy some
Yeah.
stuff. So
But
You
there's
don't
not
see
going to
the
be a
need
door.
to add more
Not
windows
gonna be a-
to that
won't be a
elevation?
door.
they need the walls to merchandise, and
Oh.
and the other side is all windows where the
Yeah.
LCB was. So
Right.
they need the rest of the back wall to,
Mhm.
for merchandise
Okay.
display.
Very good, Colin.
That's a good
Oh.
suggestion. That would have been nice.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to capture, what they've got, and I mean, that's an old converted gas station. A
Wow,
little, yeah, it's pretty amazing. They do a real volume out of there.
nice.
If you guys ever get a chance to go, it's a fun store to walk around. You won't need anything to be here. That's exactly. This will be bigger and better. Forget it. Might be a little cheaper there, though. I don't know. So these are just images of this is actually our finished material board. We actually brought hard samples if you want to see them and touch them. It's basically hardy board, corrugated metal, aluminum, standing seam metal, paint on the block, and some nice light fixtures. What's that black? No, that's
It's certainly going to be a big improvement,
oh
what's
yeah.
there. That building needed some work, so,
It's tired.
yeah.
On the north elevation, you show the one door to be patched and repaired. How about the door closer to Wawa that's blacked out? Will that go away too, or does that stay?
That's the door that's replaced with the overhead door. On the Wawa side.
No, I'm sorry. I'm in the rear of the building. Two doors.
So the left man door remains, the right man door will become the overhead door. They need a larger opening for each door.
Oh, I see the note. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we added that loading zone striping.
Okay.
Although, for whatever it's worth, the trucks that they anticipate are small and infrequent, the
Mhm.
space, the size of the space is dictated by zone.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's basically it.
Nice presentation.
Yeah, and I think that block, although it's dated, that split face CMU, I think when it's painted
Yeah.
white, it'll have a lot of
yeah.
nice shadow reveal
Yeah.
to it, and
Yeah.
it'll lend
It'll look
itself to this use. I've seen this building for years, and it really
Yeah.
needs some help.
Jane, questions, comments?
No, I always wish there'd be more plantings, but you can't put them in if you keep all the parking, so.
Yeah, we would lose parking.
Right.
We do have some planter boxes going on the
Okay.
sidewalk.
All right. Colin?
I'm thinking of questions. I can't.
Okay.
I don't
How
have any.
about,
I think it looks good.
We always talk about the trash dumpsters in the back.
We'll work that out with the tenant. We can
Okay.
come back in and do that if necessary.
Yeah, we'll ask if they be fenced in.
I mean, for code, we would comply
Yeah.
with the ordinance.
Okay.
So
And
it's painted CMU, it's board and batten on the gables, it's standing seam metal on the A-frame, and then shingles.
Yes, that's it.
And new storefronts, or no? Okay.
Now, they're actually
We're painting them and fixing them.
Pretty good
they'll be
shape.
the same as they are.
So all the mechanicals will be in the back, nothing on the roof, right? Just like,
nothing on the roof, it's all split system on the ground.
Right.
Compressors feeding in with
But like
Line
the racks
six.
that are holding them are replaced. Even if
Yeah.
you saw the whole building,
And then I just see a couple conflicts with existing gutters and where your bump outs are going, so you'll have to work that out.
Yeah, we have some gutters to bring down, we can't
down
remove
pumps
those.
replaced, the HVAC's all replaced. We just ripped through the building, so there's a bunch of new going
Yeah.
in, but
Yeah.
from the
I'm
outside, it's
sorry,
not.
yeah, just if you can use that, okay. The one comment I'm going to have, in the same problem we had at the old McDonald's, where people pulled out trying to make a left-hand turn, and there's
Pulled out
accidents galore, where McDonald's was.
I know, but where are these guys making?
Well,
the left?
same thing, there's a, right,
Oh, I
there's a
guess.
drive going out.
But like, in honesty,
Yeah.
you've lived here your whole life, so have I. Like,
Yeah.
how many people use that driveway?
Well, you hope a lot, right?
2 people use that? Through Wawa, right?
So right now.
I think people are
if you-
scared of it.
If you're talking about circulation, right now, what a lot of people do is they pull in front of the building
Mhm.
and then run in
For the dry cleaner.
for the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
Or They have it's not a drive-through window, it's an
Right.
actual sliding glass door that
Right,
they use.
exactly.
And it continues to operate. It's not used very often, but it is there.
Sure.
Most people, frankly, drive through to Wawa and come out the signalized entrance
Yeah.
Yeah.
off of that, off
I-
the street as opposed to making that turn. But people do go everywhere, so we
Right.
will, I mean, we're purposely blacktopping and restriping the one-way arrows to try to show that, but I mean, I think that there's a pattern that's established, so we're trying not to create an issue, we're trying to actually hope to work that in harmony with Wawa and Beges.
Right. When McDonald's left, of course, there was numerous accidents, people trying to make lefts coming out of McDonald's. We told the bank that took the spot at McDonald's to kind of monitor the traffic flow. If you felt you needed to put a no left-hand turn sign up, put it up. I don't know if they have or not, I mean, that's a dangerous spot. You're cutting across 2 lanes of traffic, the Wawa's right next door.
I would argue that block's busier. The McDonald's block.
It's a mess up there, yeah, it's a real mess. But the
We'll-
other
we'll
thing, in
look at that.
conjunction with that, just make sure your landscaping in that front bed doesn't interfere with the sight line of people pulling out, whether it's a right turn or a left-hand turn. That bed's pretty bad right now. I think everything's stripped out except for the trees, but, don't
Yes.
plant anything that's gonna block the,
Annuals.
Yes. Well, we actually have a plan that, not for tonight, where Nest would like to actually utilize that front drive aisle for display and sale of materials, which is a separate request that'll have to come in through the township. But
That's a great idea.
we do hope to improve that whole area in front of the store as
okay,
well.
all right.
Outdoor cafe.
Something nice.
Be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jane, what else?
That's
Comments?
it.
You're
I
done?
mean, Yeah, it's going to be an
Yep.
improvement.
Yeah, big time.
I
Colin?
think you've all mentioned the other questions.
Yeah, I have one more
but I
question, I'm sorry.
always forget
The,
trash.
the band that's, I'll say, a soffitted band, is that board and batten too? Or is that the metal?
Hardy panel.
Yeah, it's just flat panel.
Battens
Hardy
are
wrap.
1x4s about 4
Got
feet
it.
apart.
All right, great.
It's kind of a charcoal gray in color. It's not as black enough to just depicted here.
So what's your timeline? I know you guys are starting work inside right now.
Yeah, we're under construction.
Right.
We are moving under our interior and demo permits now.
Mhm.
So after this, if we are able to get approval tonight, we will be able to release the exterior work, and they'll start immediately, and the whole project should be done by the end of September.
Wow, that's good. Oh, you know what, one other question, getting back, the sidewalks around the building, do there need to be cuts over there for the wheelchairs and stuff? On the side.
We'll improve the sidewalks where needed. I think actually the handicapped access, when we restripe, is actually depressed, but there are some cracked
Yeah,
areas, and we have to redo our sanitary line. So we'll replace and
Yeah.
fix that as
Okay.
part of it.
yeah, it's gonna be a big improvement, yeah,
Yeah,
big time, so.
I think so.
It's
Thank
kinda
you.
unique that the cleaner's hanging in there, huh?
They survived COVID.
Yeah.
And they don't want to leave, so
Okay,
there they are.
there they are. All right.
Successful business.
Okay, good, good. All right, any other questions for the board?
Thank you.
Comments? You guys
Thanks
are
for your
good?
time.
Okay, I'm not sure whose turn it is.
In the matter of DRB
Okay.
2021-45209 Wayne IPG Associates for the approval of facade improvements, roof replacements, and other facade improvements. Motion for an approval.
I second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Thanks again, appreciate it.
How you doing?
Okay, the next application, DRB 2021-46, the application of Brandywine Signs at 512 West Lancaster Avenue. The customer has asked for a continuation to next month. So we'll have a motion on that, continuation of that.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. And then we move to DRB 2021-47, the application of Ironwood Properties at 209 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne, zoned under Wayne Business Overlay District for a ground sign and 3 wall signs. And this is the property was just before us. This is our sign package. And to present the sign package is Brian. Hey, Brian.
So this is Ironwood?
Brian, you feel more comfortable with the handheld? Thank you.
Can you hear me clearly through the mic?
Yeah, you should be fine.
I could project.
No, you should be fine. Let's use a mic. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, this is for Ironwood Properties. They have two tenants. They have one tenant that is the dry cleaner, and then their main tenant is going to be Nest. They're doing a lot of improvements on the building, as you know. But if you look here, this pole sign, that's where South Moon Under is, that is on the east side of the building.
Right, want to use a mic? I'm sorry, you want to use the mic? Yeah.
That is on the east side of the building. That pole is 20 feet high, and what we're proposing is to cutting down that pole and making it a ground sign, not to exceed 8 foot high. If you look at this drawing right here, you'll see that we're calling it a monument sign, just simply because we're putting a skirt on the bottom. It's a 48-inch by 12-inch skirt, and then it'll have a 48-inch diameter circle. The construction is very similar to what we did to Dan or Wayne Beer and Soda or Seafood USA for their pole sign, or for our sign that we made 20-some years ago that still looks brand new.
Right.
It's minimum of .090 gauge aluminum to 1.2 thick aluminum, totally welded and constructed sign with extrusions. The faces are routed, and the faces then have half-inch acrylic that actually pushes through. And I'll bring up a sample just to show you.
And the dry cleaner's sign will remain as is?
Yes.
We'll take her sign off the building while we do our improvements.
But we take a piece of
All right, let me grab the mic again, Brian. Just, yeah.
We take a piece of aluminum. In this case, this is .92, I believe. But it's pretty thick. I mean, we usually try to get up to the 1.2 thickness range. We route it, and we do a 2-part poly finish on it. It's an automotive finish. You usually get about 30 years out of that finish. And then we take acrylic of that thickness, and we route it on a saber, so it fits just like a puzzle. And the beauty of that is when you have your pole sign and you're driving past it, you don't have to be flat to see what you're trying to advertise. As you're driving past it, it just gives you like a 180-degree look to it. So it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'll show you. And we light it up with LED.
Right.
Both sides?
Yes. Yes, it's a double-sided sign. But we didn't want to go, obviously we can't go any higher than 8
Right,
feet.
right, on a
And
monument
the sign that is there now is really an eyesore. It has no elements to it.
I think we were
This,
trying to get rid of it when the print shop came.
We did. And they said, it was doing
this will have the elements of Nest because it's a circle. I do have one modification. I know that on what I presented, it says a 48-inch diameter circle. I know that we can get up to 25 square foot for that. Can we change that to 60 inches in diameter? And it's really twofold. It just gives the flexibility to the tenant that after, say, 10 years with the lease of Nest, they can modify it.
What would you say
for
the width of the existing sign is?
the width of the existing sign? That's a 4x6, I believe.
Okay.
So Brian, I'm sorry, I lost you
Usually
for a
5
second.
feet wide.
It was a 5 feet.
5 feet.
You're proposing 5.
5 feet diameter.
I was curious what this width is, the existing. Just for reference,
Yeah.
I would say maybe 3 feet, right?
No. It's
Wider?
It's a lot wider than
Okay.
that. Yeah, ours is actually a
So
smaller.
you don't think 5 would be too much for this island? And I
No,
only go back to Bob's point about the turning,
right.
the left turn.
Yeah, no, that, I thought I had the dimensions of that on
You
there.
may, I just don't see it.
Well, that's pretty much the entrance there, Colin.
That's the
So it-
entrance,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But,
on
I
that
mean,
side.
South Moon Under is leaving right beyond.
right, yes. So, Brian,
I
I'm
would just
sorry.
ask for your opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a 4 foot by 8 foot
Okay.
sign.
So right now, we're basically gonna square that sign.
No,
We're gonna box it. So right now, you're looking at a 4x4, right?
no, he's saying the radius would jump to 5 rather than 4.
Correct,
If
yes.
It
And
should
we're,
be circular.
yeah, it's gonna be circular.
Diameter.
Yeah, but when we measure it as a box. So it's gonna be 5x5 then,
Correct, yes,
okay? So 25 square feet.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I- With the shape, I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
I don't
That-
either, I
that's
just
why I
wanted
like
to
the
hear your
shape.
opinion.
Yeah,
Okay. Are we
I do
good with
like it
that,
that it's
though?
lower.
5x5?
If you are, they have to put the address here, or they put it on the building?
We'll let them do wherever they feel appropriate, yeah. Yeah, the address number, Brian. I don't know if it would look good on the post or on the building or,
I would probably put that on the skirt if, I like it better on
You
the
could-
building, I think
you
it
could
looks
put it
nicer,
both
but
if
we
you
could
want.
do it on both.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
We'll leave it to you as long as it's there.
Okay.
So at this opportunity then, Jane, that landscaping bed, so what do you think there?
Well, right
mean,
now,
it's
that's
a
all her,
mess.
it's herbaceous, it looks sloppy because no one's been maintaining, but that's all herbaceous, and that looks like that chrysanthemum weed. It looks like a weed. That green stuff looks like that weed, that rambunctious weed,
Bay just does such a nice job
yeah.
with the landscaping out front.
Mhm.
I was kind of talking to Brian about it and said it's a shame that whoever Bages has to do his landscaping couldn't somehow tie in that landscaping bed with the Nest property.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of overgrowth there,
Yeah,
and I think ideally that overgrowth could be ripped out,
Maybe,
before and then we,
yeah.
maybe,
Our goal would be to, we actually use the same person so far for snow removal, and we're going to coordinate those things because obviously there's a synergy between the two buildings.
Right.
So we haven't picked plantings or any of that kind of thing yet, but we'll absolutely, around the sign base,
Yeah.
put low-level plantings in that are appropriate and kind of highlight it without
Okay.
being overwhelming.
So you think you'll rip out everything that's there
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
much?
yeah.
It's pretty shot.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has
We
to
did
be
that in the
sidewalk.
front where the 3 trees are.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And we
yeah.
did it all along the back when we
Right.
had the dead trees on, you guys had, but we had some dead trees that we replaced, and we wound up using the arborvitae to match our neighbor.
Mhm.
So we'll coordinate, so we coordinated the specific selection with our rear neighbor so that she was happy and it would match.
Mhm.
We'll do the same thing in the front.
Okay, great. Good.
and that's what I think, Colin, correct me if I'm wrong, you were concerned about that. You wanted to make sure that that's not blocking traffic in
Yeah.
any way,
Yeah,
and
I mean, clearly it's,
it's
my
the
concern is
shrubbery
just,
that's blocking
it's
the
just
traffic.
visuals, so I think the sign looks great.
And that base is only, 12 inches
Yeah,
wide.
right.
Right now, we're looking at 14 feet of shrubbery.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I think it'll be a big improvement.
Yeah.
Big improvement, yeah.
So there's the 3 trees in front, which we don't like the particular specimens or the height of them. We would come in at a future date. We just know in Radnor with the whole effort of trees being changed along the Lancaster frontage, we figure we wait and see, but we would be amenable to replacing those trees with something that would be more appropriate for our
Yeah.
neighbors.
Well,
I just didn't know.
I don't think they're your trees to replace. Those
They're-
trees are township trees, I think they were put in. Those beds were put in by the Radnor Township, and those trees were put in by Radnor Township, so, yeah, before you cut them down, you better check.
Oh, no, we're not cutting
Yeah.
anything down.
Right,
I would-
okay.
Even if they weren't if they were
Right.
ours, we couldn't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We would need to come in, all I'm saying is we'd be amenable to the concept of replacing what's there in coordination with the township with something that might not prevent a visual barrier from a safety perspective, but enhance what's in the front,
Mhm.
that's all.
Well, I mean, you know what's happened down in downtown Wayne with the trees.
Yeah, I know, they may be their trees, they may have been planted by the property owner
You
there.
think so? I'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
I don't think at the age of those trees, we were planting
Really?
trees there, but I don't
You-
recall.
What
I don't
about-
recall, but
Yeah.
that would qualify, I think, as a space for street tree planting
Okay.
by the township. It
Mhm.
doesn't prohibit you from planting your own trees, though, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm not definite on that.
And-
I'm pretty sure you could plant your own trees there
Yeah.
if you wanted.
And you were here at the time, I think, in 1990, when the Blue Route came in, the
Yeah.
township undertook a township
Yeah.
line to township line, kind of
Might
clean
have
up the
gotten-
corridor.
I wasn't on the board then.
Yeah, okay, all
I was
right.
on the board after.
But-
No, but
yeah.
I think that I think you can replace those trees yourself, but I think also if the fall or spring street tree planting plan that comes along, you could, might be request trees too.
Yeah, it-
Or the business
Right, well, the-
association.
Right, on North Wayne Avenue and East Lancaster and West Lancaster Avenue, they took out a lot of the trees that had been there, I guess approximately 25 to 30
Yeah, I
30
remember when they
years.
went in.
And they were just getting too big and blocking frontages and stuff like that, and they put in a lot smaller ones. So you might fall under that umbrella where Radnor Township will actually put some
Yeah.
smaller trees in for you. I don't want to spend
Yeah,
our
well,
money.
the object
but,
is to
you know.
put trees in that are going to grow up but stay light. You don't want short trees have eye pokers that poke pedestrians and stuff. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes trees are planted and then they're not juvenile pruned, like limbed up properly so that they get above where you want them to be. And they sometimes you don't want thick trees, in other words, that then shield your building. And there's a lot of trees that qualify. Crepe myrtles are
bad.
great. Crepe myrtles are a great flowering tree for that.
I couldn't picture them.
And they're tough and they like it hot. They're good for
They have a lot.
parking lots.
Just-
Okay.
Just needs improvements under the trees.
Yeah, yeah.
So just to recap, Bob, for that monument sign, we were looking at 60 inches by 12 foot wide with 60-inch diameter. The sign is 12 inches thick. It has LED in it. It's double-sided. It has the rounded faces with push-through acrylic. And the skirt is 12 inches by 48 inches high.
Is the additional 12 inches a tenant request or a landlord request?
Excuse me?
The additional 12 inches in the monument sign, is that a tenant request or a landlord request?
A landlord request.
We good with that?
Yeah.
Are we good?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Nice
All right,
sign.
so that's pretty much the monument. Clean
And
up the
then as
flower
far
bed,
as-
new monument sign, so.
Yes, and if you look at the page right here, so this is a new architectural rendering. I don't know if it's the one that's up to date exactly, but it
close
just
enough,
shows
close
you
enough.
that we have, three sides. We have a front that faces Route 30. We have the Wawa side, which we're trying to get some visibility for the business. There is a access road there, which is being used as a drive-through. It actually is separated with a little tiny 8-inch foot wall from Wawa. And then there's the east side, which is near South Moon under the shopping center. So that is their entrance, which is the east side. And if you look, they wanted to, mark the entrance with a single-sided wall cabinet, 48 inches in diameter, 6 inches deep, again with the 120 high-efficiency LED illumination, exactly the same routed face, pushed through acrylic, 0.090 aluminum faces, wall-mounted, and they wanted to put one on the east side, the front of the building, and on the Wawa side.
Would the south side facing Lancaster be a window application? Isn't that a piece of glass there, or is that the facade?
That, it could be.
I'm saying, is it?
Yes, yes, correct.
It's a window applied sign, right, or no?
The
No, the one
Wawa
in the front
side-
of the building, facing Lancaster?
Oh, no, that would be on the facade.
Oh, the placement looks like it's in glass.
Yeah, it does look like it's in a window.
For the front.
Or front.
Front?
The front is Lancaster.
Yeah, yeah. It just looks like it's on glass. Is it not?
No,
Okay. So where would it go?
right on the brick.
I guess I don't see where.
It's there,
Oh, it's kind of like,
right where my finger is.
it's a vertical sign, nest is climbing up the wall?
No, it's a round circular sign.
Well,
as-
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like it's in glass. The top one, right?
All right, so here's the front. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of room for a sign.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Looks like it's on glass in his drawing.
Let me look at your pictures again here. So is it that brick band there? Is it just drawn incorrectly?
Squeezed in.
So is that band
Yeah.
where the person is?
No, no. Overlooks, overhangs.
It could absolutely go there. I don't know if that's the position.
I think that's the only place you could put it,
Well, the other thing it could be is on this metal panel if they wanted to. put
in
it
there.
like that. Yeah.
I just think that's wider.
Yeah, fine right there,
Can
fine.
can it accommodate a 48-inch diameter or something?
Yeah. But where the person is, it could absolutely accommodate.
So what are we looking at? The other thing?
Just
So
look at the
see-
placement of
See this here?
Right in here?
Ron?
what would go in the front, yeah.
Okay.
See this here? You show like a vertical nest sign right there, right? What is that?
I can see that.
I think that's the band we're talking about right here.
Not near your door.
Well, you're showing it in glass. That was my point.
Yeah,
I think it needs to move over. Like, you're showing it here. I think it needs to be here. Yeah. No, I just wanted to clarify. So it's not a glass mounted sign?
No.
It's gonna be wall
Yeah,
mounted?
yeah,
Okay.
it's a wall.
So
Actually, all three of them are wall.
I think it goes where the man is. And maybe,
They're not near the door.
See,
On the door that says.
Initially, they wanted it here,
yeah,
but it's too high because it exceeds 15 feet.
that would be the nice place to put it.
It would look beautiful there, but it's just too high.
Right.
Because the roof line is right at 12 feet.
Oh, it is, okay. So, yeah, no way then.
You'd have to get a variance.
You would have to get a variance. for
Yeah.
that.
And we would attempt to do that after the fact if they choose to do that, but, I mean, that's where it wants to be,
Okay.
but it's not allowed.
Okay.
I think it's
Want to
very
just
near the
repeat that?
building.
I'm just saying that the sign, I agree with you, the sign wants to be on that peak, that was kind of the goal,
Right.
but it doesn't comply with the zoning, so we would come back later if that's,
Okay.
if that, as
All right,
that's
that
what they want to
option's
pursue.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the tenant would like to,
If the tenant thinks that,
Yeah,
if the tenant wants us to pursue that, we will, but it's not on
Sure.
the, not this time.
okay.
but
would
I
think-
think your only option on the front is that where the person is.
Yes,
Would you agree?
yes.
Okay. Good.
And then on the side where Wawa is, you'll see glass as well, but to the left of the glass
Yep.
would be the
Well, see, the problem is
cabinet.
with this location, and we run into this problem a lot. I always like the reference Wayne Jewelers. So
Right.
Wayne Jewelers is on the corner. They're clearly on South Wayne. They're clearly on Route 30.
Right,
They get signage on North Wayne. They get signage on Route 30.
right.
You guys aren't on a corner. So really, you should only get signage on the front. Now, we've kind of bent the rules a little bit where there's a adjacent parking lot
Yeah.
and given somebody signage on the parking lot side, which would be the main entrance of the new store.
Right.
But I think we're going to have a hard time giving you signage on the Wawa side.
Right.
Now, you could put, in that glass window you're going to put, you can put signage in there, but you can only use 20% of that available window space for signage. But like I say, you're not on a corner,
Right.
so
And
it's
I
going to
guess
be hard
that
to
was
grant you
my-
a sign on that side.
Yeah, I guess that was my argument, is
Yeah.
it's more of an access road.
Yeah, but
because
it's
there
not
is
a
there
dedicated
is a foot
road.
there is a foot wall
Right.
where you
right.
can't just drive from
Yeah.
Wawa
I would argue just
over it.
the sign breaks up the
Yeah, it
monotony
does.
of the facade.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, to be under the code,
I know. It's-
we should really stick with I don't know how large that window is and how big that nest sign would be if we kind of cut it down to 20% of that window space. You know? But like I say, we've run into that situation a lot, and we walked the tightrope on that one. And I know what you're saying, Colin, aesthetically, sure, it's gonna look better, but,
It's a shame.
yeah. That'd be like Wawa putting a sign facing the Nest
Facing
building.
Nest.
Yeah, and they could argue, hey,
Nest did it. Why can't
right,
we?
exactly, yeah,
We'd set that precedent.
yeah. And like I say, where people have had a large parking lot, we've let them put a sign on that side, I remember,
Require another variance.
And I think the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
liquor store, the State Store had a sign there.
I don't recall that, but maybe.
well, I
Oh,
don't,
not on the Wawa side,
right, yeah.
on the parking lot
Right,
side.
exactly, on the parking lot side, yeah, but not on the Wawa side.
No, no.
Yeah, yeah. So, I remember, gosh, 20 years ago, down near 320, it's a Oriental rug store.
Yeah.
And I remember they came in, it was very controversial, and we let them put a sign on the side. Of course, they had one on the front facing 30. We let them put one on the side because there was a little parking lot, and we kind of bent the rules, you might say, for them. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally, I think we're stretching it, you know? I mean, it's clearly stated in the book, if you're on a corner property,
But
you
they
get two
could apply
signs.
for a variance.
You can apply for a variance. You can go in for both things if you want, the peak and the sign on the side.
Yeah,
Or like
and
I s-
again, my only thought was because it was a dedicated driveway.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna cut it, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's got a sign on, or sidewalk on the side of their building, or a lot of people do, or whatever, so. But, or like I say, you
Or
could
we could
measure
just
out
do the
that
glass.
window. I'm sorry?
We could just letter the glass then.
Yeah, you
At a
could put it in
percentage.
the glass.
That,
Yeah.
that would,
Do that.
Yeah,
would that be
you're allowed up to
feasible?
20%. What do you think on that window size?
window is 6 by 8, or 8 by 6.
So it's 48, and you're allowed 1/5 of that, so it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be pretty small.
Think you
Yeah.
investigate
tiny.
the variance.
The reason we thought that sign makes sense is someone at Wawa can leave their car there and not figure out how to drive the wrong way in every direction to get around. The shopper would use
Yeah.
the sidewalk on Lancaster Avenue
Well,
and
you
come,
could,
and
you
come
could put a
around.
directional sign if you want, rather small,
Okay.
you know, if you wanted to do something like that.
To put a directional sign in
To
the
put a
ground.
directional sign, I think, according to code, I think it's only small, maybe like 4 square feet or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and
But that's an
we'll talk
option.
about a variance, and,
Yeah.
you know, we'll ask for sort
mean, I
of
think clearly
safety
The
reasons.
tenant would probably love putting it in that A-frame.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
then, you know, there might be an opportunity to like get a variance to put a huge sign on the whole front.
We can certainly ask, sure.
But in the meantime, you could put a directional sign up.
Okay.
You know what?
Kind of like what the Brunos did facing the west facade of the farmer's market. They took a portion of the facade and did a really nice sign, but that was facing a parking lot. But, you know, in your case, you would look for a variance to try to, you know, jazz up that facade facing Wawa.
Yeah.
I think there's an opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Put a larger window in.
There you go. You're right, put a larger window.
Thank you. Appreciate
Well,
it.
look, you know, Ness isn't opening up next week, so you have
No.
the opportunity to come back next month.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting the approval on 2 facade signs. You're
Yeah.
getting an approval on the monument sign, and then the
Okay.
facade, so.
Right.
Okay.
And you know what? Unfortunately, Kevin's not here, and Kevin was hearing our meeting, but I think we've lost him. We have lost him, okay. So maybe tomorrow you can ask Kevin.
Is
just
there
for-
a way that if we got an approval from you, that's subject to getting approved as a variance, we wouldn't need to come
Yeah.
back here?
Yeah, we definitely can do that. Mhm.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, you can get our blessing for it, and, you know, run it by the zoning hearing board and see what they say. Yeah.
So as a recap, if we could have the alternative of putting it in that peak in the front, larger, you know, the opportunity to go for a variance.
Right,
Or
right.
you had said,
I don't know if we can approve that, because you didn't.
No, we can't approve it.
You didn't present that. You just mentioned it as an idea.
Yeah.
So you'd have to come back for that sign, for the A,
okay,
facing Lancaster.
right.
But we could mention that the sign facing Wawa is conditional of a variance.
Yeah.
But we couldn't do that for the front sign, because you didn't present it.
That's very fair, thank you.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
The sign on the Wawa side, how large were you looking for?
4 feet, right?
4 foot, 48 inches in diameter.
Okay, all right. So 16 square feet.
Correct.
Okay. And then, just like I mentioned, you know, if you wanted to figure out, maybe come back with a directional sign, should not exceed 4 square feet in sign area, so, or a sign height of 3 feet above existing grade.
Okay.
So, I mean, gives you a
4
little,
square feet
little
per-
shot
per
there.
facade.
I'm sorry?
4 square feet per side. Can't remember the language.
Yeah. So, maybe what we should do is, we can approve a couple things tonight. We can give you our blessing for the Wawa sign
Okay.
of 48 feet, or 48 inches in diameter. If you want, just come back next month with a couple different ideas. You can do that.
Okay.
I mean, I think, look, it looks like you have time on your side a little bit, since things won't be up and running until September. So, well, I think one thing the board would like to see, and I'll ask Jane this, and Colin, would you like to see more clarification on that front sign, the location and all? I think there was a little bit of,
Yeah, well, I would say that it has to be on a wall.
yeah, just to make
Not
sure.
Well, I think they're
Describe.
only limited to one location.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's only
okay.
one location.
But you
we
feel
could
there's
put it in.
adequate space for that?
I think
There
so.
is, okay, all right.
It
Yeah, it's
looks-
a little hard to tell from the sketch here.
It looks appropriate.
Okay.
You know, and if it's not, they'll reduce it, right? You're
Correct.
not gonna
Yeah.
overhang
Right.
the glass.
Exactly.
And is that sign also 48 inches in diameter?
Yes.
That front
Yeah.
sign, okay.
Yes, correct.
All right. And the one on the so-called front of the building,
Is
east
48
side is
inches.
48. So
Yes.
you wanted consistency all around?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And they all match in the same construction.
Sure,
material.
sure. You said they're 6 inches deep?
They're 6 inches
Yeah.
deep, but the post, the monument sign is 12 inches deep.
Okay, okay. I mean, you think 6 inches is too much, intruding off the building, or not? Yeah, I guess.
You get a-
I wondered about
you
the
get a
lighting,
halo
how much you
effect,
see, We have to have it that deep.
Yeah. Yeah, do you need to make it 6 inches due to
Yeah,
electrical?
to properly light, push-through acrylic, you
Okay.
do.
All right, there you go.
You get a burn-in effect if it's any thinner than,
Okay,
used to be 8 inches. Now we're doing it at 6 inches.
Innovation.
yeah. The, getting back to some monument sign, just looking at my notes for a second. And Brian, you know this, 10 feet off the cartway, it's got to be at least 10 feet off
Yes.
the cartway.
Correct.
And do you fellows feel there's going to be any issues with sight lines with that monument sign or not? Okay. If you did, we could always ask the police to come out and just do a survey of the area, just to make sure. But
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be
I
any
don't think so
issues.
either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
going to be a drastic improvement.
Yeah, okay. And of course, the address on the door on the building somewhere, we talked about that. Yeah. So, but I don't know, what else, Jane?
That's it. I
All
mean,
right, you're good?
yeah,
Okay.
follow our recommendation.
Colin, you're good?
Yes, sir.
It's
Yeah,
on
sure.
the Wawa side is.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see if we can tackle everything here. So in the matter of DRB 2021-47 Ironwood Properties, motion to approve a new monument sign, a new wall-mounted sign on the east elevation, a new wall-mounted sign on the south elevation, with a conditional approval on the west elevation for a new wall sign if zoning approves. Is that fair?
And there was a change to the monument sign.
Change to the monument sign that was presented from 4 feet to 5 feet wide.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Any comments, gentlemen?
No, thank you, really
Brian,
thank you
guys
for
are
your
good?
time, and
Okay,
And,
good.
uh,
And feel free to come back next month. Okay. All
yeah,
right?
I'll be back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Good luck.
Yeah, looks good, you guys. Yeah, much improved. Yeah.
Then we have one.
Brian, you're always the best dressed guy here, man, you know?
I know, I can't wear sleeve shirts.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna wear a tuxedo next month. I'm gonna outdo you.
He's outdoing you, Bob?
I'm wearing a tux. That's it. Yeah,
So then we have F and J that we have.
yeah. Okay. Thanks again, Brian. Okay, next on our agenda tonight is DRB 2021-48, the application of Brandy Wine Realty Trust at 250 King of Prussia Road in Radnor for a new parking structure. I don't believe they're here, so we were not notified, so we'll make this a denial then,
All right.
okay? And we'll ask them to resubmit. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. And the last one on our agenda tonight is DRB 2021-49, the application of Flip and Bailey's at 902 Conestoga Road in Bryn Mawr for wall signage, facade renovation, and one awning. And the applicant has asked for a continuation to next month. Do we hear a second on that?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And is there any other business before us tonight? Old business, new business? We're good?
We're good.
Okay. All right, thanks, guys. See you
Thank
next
you.
month.
Thank
Alrighty.
you.
That was a good one.
Okay. I said 7:30. Kind of jumped the gun on our meeting, and we kind of left out the last applicant of the night, and they were out in the hallway, and we thought the meeting was over, but here they are. DRB 2021-48, the application of Brandywine Realty Trust at 250 King of Prussia Road in Radnor for a new parking structure. Hello there.
Good evening.
Hiya.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. How'd the card game go? Yeah. All right. So you're back for a parking garage. I know you were before us last month via Zoom.
Correct. I think
Yes.
back in May. Correct.
And back in May, okay. All right.
Now it's for the existing building facade.
That was the building facade,
What
yes.
we're looking at here is just the parking garage facade?
Correct.
Okay. So maybe you can give us a quick rundown of what's going on here, and looks like a pretty clean application. So-
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So I'm Bob Tucker, representing the applicant. I have Joe Trainer here, representative for the property owner, and our two consultants. And unless you have any initial questions, I'd love to just turn it over to our architect to go through
Sure,
design.
let's do that. Okay, good.
Good evening. Kyle
Hi.
Falconer, registered architect with Noor Architects in Philadelphia. We're the architect of record for both the building and the parking garage.
Okay.
So I'm just going to walk through the presentation. Feel free to stop me if anything along the
Mhm.
way. I'm happy to stop. Otherwise, I'll go through an overview, and then we can circle back on anything that
Great.
you'd like.
Good.
Couple existing photographs to give some context. I think you're familiar with the site, but we'll go through it in case anybody watching or out there is not. This is the existing property as it sits today, an aerial photograph. The surface parking to the east of the building there is where the garage is going to be located, directly in front of what is the main entrance to the Penn Medicine facility today. A couple other existing photos. These are much more recently taken, again, of that front parking lot, the surface. And where the cars are parked now is generally the area where the parking structure is going to be located. Second to refresh here, I'm not sure what, oh, okay. This is an aerial rendering, so this is taken about the same vantage point as the aerial photograph you just saw, now with the addition of the parking garage. This also includes the building renovations that were reviewed in the prior meeting in May. So we have a 2.5-story parking structure in front of the building, as you see. It's a typical precast parking structure, meaning it's an entirely precast building. Both the structure and the elevation panels are all precast, much like the new parking structures that are located down the street at the new Penn Medicine facility. So very, very similar in type and construction. Two full levels above grade. There is, and I think if you can see my pointer, two opposing stair towers. There's an exit stair in the top left corner here, and there's a stair and elevator tower here in the corner most adjacent to the building entrance. So part of the reason it's situated this way is this wall here is the main entrance to the building, part of the new renovation. So it's in closest proximity to the main stair and elevator tower. So people parking in the parking garage would mostly come down this stair and elevator tower, across the street, and into the main entrance of the building. The other stairwell is a required fire stair, so it would likely only be used in the event of a fire, an egress stair, okay? The other reason it's situated primarily where it is, as you can see, the footprint of the garage could fit just about anywhere in this front parking lot. There are a number of things happening. There's additional rain garden and significant landscape adding here along King of Prussia Road. So the goal was to put the garage in a spot where it was sort of least visible from the adjacent roadways. So a combination of pushing it several hundred feet off King of Prussia Road and surrounding it in some new landscaping helped reduce the visibility and get the proximity of the garage closest to the entrance to the building. This is a rendered view. This is the main entrance to the site as you're pulling in off King of Prussia Road. So now with the addition of the parking garage rendered beyond, just gives you a sense of the proximity of the parking garage to the roadway. You get a sense of the landscaping, both existing and new trees between you and where the parking garage sits. And you can also see the building beyond with the new renovation, the new facade. So the intent here is to show how the building presents itself to King of Prussia Road near the main entrance.
Is that rendering displaying existing trees?
Yes, correct. So the landscaping plan that's submitted in the submission as well later, so the new trees that you see on that landscaping plan are being depicted here as well. So you're seeing a combination of existing and new. In this rendering, yes. Yeah. So there are this berm directly on the right side of the image. There are a lot of existing mature trees there today that are remaining, and there are also new trees that are spread in amongst there to make a heavier landscape buffer. And Rachel, please, if you want to opine on anything. Okay. This is a close-up rendered view so there's that stair and elevator tower close to the building entrance that I was mentioning from the aerial view. So this is if we're standing at the main entrance to the building, looking back across at the garage, so you can see the glazing there. That is where you would enter the stair and elevator tower. So as you walk in those doors, there's a stairway to your left, an elevator to your right. And this gives you a good sense of the architecture of the garage. I mentioned it's going to be a dark gray stained precast. So this is an architectural precast. It's not a painted concrete. It's an integral stain. There will be some architectural reveals in the panels. And of course, the glazing, both the windows and the curtain wall on the stair tower are matching the new glazing and framing that's being done on the building. The dark gray color is also being pulled from the building. There are significant areas of existing brick on the building that are being painted a dark charcoal gray, so the intent is to match that color. The other thing a dark color does on a building like this, it helps it sort of recede into the shadows a little bit, as opposed to it being a bright white or tan color would make it much more visible. This last eye-level view, this is if you've just turned into the site off of King of Prussia Road. So we're looking at the other corner opposite of that glass stair tower. So you've pulled in off King of Prussia Road. You're about to make the right turn into the surface parking lot. So you can see the sense of the garage here. There's a bit of a slope. So this is the low point of the site. The site slopes up as you approach the building several feet, about 3 or 4 foot difference between the bottom left corner of the garage and the top right. I know I'm moving quickly. Am I covering
No,
the?
you're fine.
Okay. So please feel free to jump in if I'm not covering something sufficiently. The last page here, the submission asked for a materials board, so a digital material board. Of course, we don't have any physical samples with us, but the image in the top left represents a fine finished architectural precast. That's the finish of the panels and roughly the color. The clear vision on the right, that's just an attempt to illustrate what will ultimately be clear glass. So if you can imagine, it'll be a very simple clear glazing in the curtain wall system. And then the image on the bottom left is just a reference image of an existing built precast garage. So the panel type, the reveal type, the proposed garage would be very similar to that in look, just not that color. The elevation package, this is the scaled elevations that are required in the submission. So if there's any questions about height or size, these can be referenced for overall scale. It's a typical 2-bay parking garage, so it's about 122 feet wide by about 260 feet long in length. I do want to make note while we're looking at this view, you'll see on the top floor of the parking garage there are 3 site lighting poles, which Rachel will talk about later in reference to the lighting plan that's required, but you see them in this view.
Actually, this is how the garage was built, with these, the windows, instead of just this, the picture here.
Say that again.
More of a window.
So those are internal to the garage, so they're I understand the confusion. Let me try to.
Well,
So there is a wall that runs right down the middle of the garage. That's the structural concrete wall that separates the two bays. That has openings in it, and what we fill them with is a black metal mesh. It's basically a security mesh so that people can't climb through from one side of the garage to the other. So they're very difficult to see from the outside. You don't actually see that far into the garage.
I've seen garages built with these windows.
On the outside, yeah. They're interior, so they don't present themselves on the exterior elevations. Did I answer? Okay.
The glass is incorporated in the elevator lobby because it's conditioned?
It's not going to be conditioned,
Okay.
but the intent is to enclose it. So it's protected from the elements, that as you're walking down the stairs or waiting at the elevator lobby, you are enclosed. The last 3 sheets are part of the civil package. This is the plan that was submitted for zoning. Well, I think we could skip over to the landscape plan. It's essentially the same information, but with the addition of all the new proposed landscaping. Rachel, do you want to walk us through?
As we stated before, been to Shade Tree Commission. They had a couple comments on some street trees. They wanted us to add some, which this plan represents us adding shade trees along Radnor Chester Road and King of Prussia Road, so then we would not require a waiver for quantity of trees. And the other requirement we basically had was to fulfill replacement tree requirements. So that's the remainder of the trees that are not immediately adjacent to the roadways are replacement trees, and we're utilizing them to soften the building, the parking structure as much as possible. We mentioned before, when you come into the main entrance off King of Prussia Road, then you turn right into the site. So on the right there, I don't know if it can, I guess I could use my pointer here. You can see this is going to be a rain garden, so that will have some buffering from the roadway and also soften the garage. Also decreases our impervious somewhat, and there'll be native plants in there designed to infiltrate. And then as far as we had to provide some parking trees, we did get a waiver for parking trees for the actual structure because we can't obviously plant the trees in the structure, but any surface parking that we added, we have the required amount of parking lot trees. Buffers were sort of an existing nonconformity, so, or not required based on the adjacent uses, so that requirement was as is. And as we said, we'll be back at Shade Tree next week just to show them. We heard their comments, we've revised the plan, and that's sort of where we are with landscape. And I guess we also have a couple residential neighbors across Radnor Chester Road, and so there were some trees added. I guess I'll show them here. Over here, we're adding some trees to sort of block some of the new glazing on the building.
They should add trees to block that wall.
What's that?
They should block trees to block that wall.
Right, yeah. That's pretty much where we are.
Is the parking garage being added because the end user is now seeing patients and the parking lot doesn't accommodate the end user?
So the building is currently mostly vacant. So Penn Medicine was the prior occupant. When they moved out, we purchased the building from them. We're looking to re-tenant the building, and that's part of this whole renovation, which really bringing it up to modern standards for the building.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest modernizations that's needed is to help cure an existing parking deficiency.
Okay.
So we don't currently have, we have one existing tenant in there now. We don't have, the full building leased, but generally, and really the whole impetus for us adding the parking garage, the current parking ratio is 2.2 per thousand. Generally, office tenants try to target 4 per thousand, but in Radnor, we're closer to a low 3 per thousand ratio. So this added parking garage actually gets us to a 3.1 per thousand parking ratio.
Thank you.
The last exhibit here is a site lighting plan. I don't know, we talked a little bit about the parking lot lighting on the top level.
The landscaping plan, landscaping is more than just trees, and I hope that this site is developed with that in mind, that the plantings are going to be well maintained,
if I may comment on that. So the site now actually, aside from some of the parking islands, a lot of which we're getting rid of, has a fair amount of landscaping in it, and we will manage and maintain it to, you know, our Brandywine standards of landscaping, ensure that there's always, you know, clean mulch, lively flowers and other plantings.
It's just, it's been my experience that trees do not like parking islands, are never big enough, so like in 10 years, they're dead, and the parking island is just there. It's just an idea that going forward, we should be concerned about maintenance of the landscape.
Right, yeah.
It's your landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always a concern of making sure we keep it up to standards. One of the other things, and Rachel, I don't know if you commented on it, but yeah, we took into consideration with the trees along King of Prussia Road, the new plantings that, as part of the Radnor Trail project. So that trail project actually extends up to the corner of Radnor, Chester Road, and King of Prussia Road. So the tree selection took those plantings into consideration as well, to look at it holistically.
It looks good.
And Kyle mentioned, site lighting is pretty minimal. There's some low pedestrian lights by the entrance when you're walking from the parking garage, and obviously there's internal lights. Obviously, there's internal lights to, there you go. Around the entrance, there's just some low intensity pedestrian lighting, and then just on the top deck of the parking lot are 3 full cutoff, you know, shielded lights. That, and also the light levels are all very uniform and, you know, low, just basically for safety. So it shouldn't be kind of 3 spotlights out there. It should just be kind of a low, even glow.
And will they go 24/7, or do they have timers to kill them at night, or?
I think they would probably go off after a certain time, but I'd let the owner speak to that, yeah.
All of our lightings will be tied to a building BAS system, which is on timers and also photocells and occupancy sensors. So they'll be on, you know, once it gets dark until a certain time at night, and that's always adjustable. And then certain lights, obviously, on occupancy sensors as needed.
Good. All right. What else you have for us? Looks like we've covered just about everything.
I think we're open to, can certainly expand on anything we've shown already, but that
Yeah.
was the,
I just had one comment. Looks great. I'm looking at this elevation, which is the main entrance, right?
Correct.
Is there a way to like soften that with maybe some landscaping placed in that sidewalk area, or like a
Pots.
street tree, or?
Large pots, planter.
If you're completely against it, I'll drop the argument. It just seems like there might be an opportunity to like enhance that elevation. Just like, you know, off the side.
I would think a large planter might be best there. We can look at
how much room we have between the,
certainly a large
You do
planter.
indicate like a walkway on the site plan. You know, well delineated, you know, coming, I guess, from the building straight on and then a walkway. So I don't know if there was an opportunity to like just dress that up a little bit. Just very precasty.
I concur, and maybe a planter would be put at the curb, and that would guide
Everything else looks
pedestrians to the walkway.
But I think that just needs some softening.
Good call. Yeah, good. Yeah, good call. That's great. Yeah.
But everything else is great.
No,
I
it's
think
good.
so, too.
It's good. So I'll ask you to take that into consideration then. So, yeah. All right. What else do you need to come back before our board for? Is there any remaining items?
Just when the time comes, we'll come back for signage.
Signage, yeah.
You know, if everything is okay from here tonight, we wouldn't, you know, we still have to go through, we're in our land development process. We still have to go through our land development approvals. As Bob mentioned, we do have our zoning approvals. We'll be back in front of Shade Tree Commission next week, and we anticipate that, obviously, to go well, just given the additional street trees we've added. And then when the time comes, when we've designed our signs, there's 2 existing monument signs. We will likely utilize that infrastructure and just redo the signs, but admittedly, we haven't designed it yet because we haven't tenanted up the building, and that will really steer us in one direction or another as it relates to the sign. So we'll certainly have to be back in front of you for signage.
Okay, good. Good. All right. Does the board have any more comments or
No.
questions or anything else you'd like to see?
I agree with Colin that
Okay.
softening this facade would be good.
Okay. Colin?
No.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for the board? Any comments for the board? You guys are good with tonight's presentation? Okay. So do you want to make approve?
For DRB 2021-48 Brandywine Realty Trust, 250 King of Prussia Road, for a new parking structure. I recommend approval.
Is there a second?
Second with the condition
that
that
we
we soften up the,
Yeah,
what would that be, the west facade?
Northwest.
elevator, that you soften up the elevator. What's that called? Yeah. Elevator stair tower
Okay,
with
great.
either plantings or maybe landscape pots, something like that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Thanks
a
for
lot.
the feedback.
Appreciate it.
Apologies again for.
All righty. Okay, I guess that will finish it up for tonight.
I can't talk.
All right. Okay, see you next month. Thank you.